Hello, my name is Michael Curley. Today we're going to make fried chicken. In times of crisis, like COVID-19, it's good to have comfort food, and fried chicken is exactly that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to defrost our chicken. Today we have chicken wings, and we also have 4 chicken thighs. The cooking times are going to vary. The first thing we're going to do is put the chicken into a buttermilk brine. We have a large thing of buttermilk, which you're going to want to shake up. I've already taken the chicken wings and I've put them in this sealable bag. Now I need to cut open our previously frozen chicken thighs. These were fresh a few days ago, and then I froze them, not knowing how long we were going to be in lockdown. They're still just a little bit frozen, but they're going to be sitting in the brine in the refrigerator for quite some time, so I think they'll have plenty of time to fully thaw. That's a nice big thigh. Always like the big thigh. I'll place them all in this bag. Becker, you want to come over and say hi to the camera?
No.
No? He doesn't like to say hi to the camera. Then I'm going to add some seasoning. I like my fried chicken with a little bit of a Cajun kick. So I'm going to take some Trappy's Red Devil Cayenne. Just a touch. Let's keep going. Don't touch the camera. Becker's my 3-year-old producer. Don't touch. Then we're going to take the buttermilk. We're going to do just enough to cover everything. Oh, I had a miss. I was paying attention to my producer over there, trying to give me instructions. I would say that covers everything. I'm going to add a little bit of extra Cajun seasoning. And a little cayenne pepper. There's already quite a bit in there. Don't touch the camera, producer. Uh-oh, causing a little mess here. I need to get some salt. Becker, do not pull on that. And I'll probably put about a 3 tablespoons of salt in there, so I don't know, maybe a little less. Okay. Okie dokie. So we got that done. Now I need to clean off the buttermilk that I inadvertently got on the outside of this. Oh yes, cleaning off nicely. Over here. And then we're going to use another one of our prepping tools. These are nice to have at a time of crisis. This is called a food saver. So I'm going to get it set up right here. I've caused a bit of a mess, so I'm going to rinse off the bottom of this bag in the sink. And it's important when doing this to know that we're using a moist, and we're not going to suck too much out of this because we don't want to, we don't want, Becker, be careful there. Becker is a crazy man, as you can see. I'm going to turn the camera just a little so you can actually see what we're going to do here. Becker, watch out. We're going to take this and we're going to get it in here. We don't know. Nobody knows. Someday we might find out.
Now what does that make that noise?
And look, we have a solid seal. I give this a seal of approval. And then we're just going to mix it all together like this. Get all the nooks and crannies. Yes. And this can go in your refrigerator until it's time to cook. Now you know how to make a brine. Hello everybody. So now we're ready to make the dredge for our fried chicken, which is the flour mixture that we're going to fry everything in. So first we'll just take with some all-purpose flour, and this is probably going to be about, I would say, 4 cups. Not that exact. Take some more of that Cajun mixture, and I'm going to probably do a good tablespoon. I've never really written down my recipe, so that's something that I'm going to have to start thinking a little more about. And by the way, this is a little garlic salt. I have renamed this episode Pandemic Chicken. So hopefully that's fun for people. I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne to this as well. Not a whole lot, because we don't want it to be overly, I mean, we're probably doing a half teaspoon. And then just to make this a little extra crispy, you're going to want to do just a little bit of baking powder. I would say maybe a teaspoon or so. That's just going to add a little bit of extra crispiness to the fried chicken. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of kosher salt. When I say a little bit, it's actually going to be more than a little. Probably, let's start with about 2 teaspoons. And then quite a bit of black pepper. A lot of people like white pepper in this as well. I don't have any right now, but it is a great seasoning. This coarse ground black pepper is probably not the best, but it will still be good. So, gonna get all this mixed together, and then I'll take a fork and I will stir it all together. And then once it's all stirred together, I will taste it, because even though tasting flour is not the best, but you'll at least to see if it's seasoned enough for your finished product. We're frying a decent amount of chicken tonight, so we will go through quite a bit of this. A lot of people say like you dredge a whole bunch of your chicken at once and then fry it just as needed. I actually like dredging just a few pieces at a time, just a little bit prior, because otherwise the flour gets kind of gummy, and then you get really thick kind of gummy crust and not that good of a flavor, I don't think. I think it's nice to have more of a nice crust, but not, so I'm going to taste a little bit of this. It's good. You don't want it too salty, because there's already quite a bit of salt in the brine. But I am going to add just a little bit more of this. So, just add a little more spice, and I'll probably add a little bit more salt and pepper. So, that's it for right now. I'm going to set up my frying station here in a second, and then we'll go over how we're going to do that. I will start to try to figure out my exact measurements on these things, but I think it's one of those things that you just have to do to your taste. Everybody, I'd like to welcome you back to Pandemic Chicken, and we're getting our frying station ready. So we have our chicken here that is been brined in buttermilk and hot sauce. We have our dredge that is flour and seasonings that we've talked about, and then we have our oil. I'm using canola oil today. I typically use peanut oil, but I couldn't find it. So oftentimes the first batch of chicken isn't the best because you're kind of trying to time everything, get everything working correctly. I've also heated the oven to 170 degrees, which is the lowest that I can do. And I have a foil-rimmed baking sheet with a wire rack on it, so that once things are done, we can do it. We can put it in the warm oven. I leave it cracked so it stays crispy. But you could also do this early in the day and then reheat everything in a hotter oven if you needed to. So a lot of people suggest seasoning your flour. Since I'm doing a fair amount of chicken, I'm not going to really season the flour. What they mean by that is taking a little bit of your buttermilk, your seasoned buttermilk, and you kind of drip it in here just a little bit. And it allows to get crispies kind of situated. But I will take a little bit of that and kind of see where I'm at heat-wise on my flour. Not quite there yet. So I've got about nearly a ½ inch of oil in there right now. Not a huge amount, but we'll see this process in just a second. Getting close though, that's kind of bubbling up pretty good. You can't quite see it, but hopefully you will be able to a little bit more. I know it's not the best view here, but I'm going to try to get a little closer. Pandemic chicken, pan-fried chicken. This is going to be good. Everybody's going to like it. There's Amber back here. Say hi.
Hi.
That's producer number 2. Producer number 1, I think, is about to take a bath or something. So I'm going to start with a few of my wings since they're more sacrificial. Since we only have we only have the 4 thighs. These are going to cook obviously a lot faster. Temperature is going to be a little bit different, but I'll probably start with 6 of them. I could definitely get more in the pan, but let's try to see where we're at on temperature and so forth. So got 6 of them in there. We're going to get them all good and covered with flour. Your hands kind of become a wreck during this, so just understand that it's going to happen. But you want to get everything good and dredged with flour. Oh, that flour is maybe even a little hot. I'm going to turn it down just a little. But your first batch helps you with your temperature. So it's you get everything good and covered. But then you also make sure to shake everything off. You don't want excess flour because then that just burns your oil quicker. So we're going to get one in there. Get another one in. Another one in. And if your hands are really coated in oil and a little bit of this batter, they almost don't even burn if you get them into the oil just a little bit yourself. I don't really suggest that, but it's true. A good Japanese tempura chef once told me that you can actually fry the tip of your finger and not burn it because you have that nice batter on there. His name was Yasu. I'll tag him in this video. So I'm going to shake those just a little, just that once you get them in for a second so they don't stick to the bottom. Shake each one just a second. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the lid on. And I'll probably turn that down just a little bit. And then I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to say for 4 minutes. Normally I would say 5. But when it gets up in about 4 minutes, we're going to turn the video back on. Thank you. Okay, so we're at the end of that 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So we're going to be opening this up. Occasionally also, even with it covered, you might want to just kind of give the pan a little jiggle, kind of keep the chicken from sticking to the bottom. So once again, give it a little. Oh, this is looking good, everybody. Look at that. A little more done than I'd like it, to tell you the truth. So we might need to adjust. That's why I said this is the sacrificial first batch. But these will still be good. But yeah, it's just a little hot. So I'm gonna turn down this just a little. I'm also going to take the temperature of these. I guarantee you they're going to probably be in they're going to be in the acceptable range, but we're just going to check real quick. So this is a Thermopen. I would love it if Thermopen would like to be our sponsors. We also appreciate our other sponsor, which is, yep, that's 185 degrees, 190, so we're good on these. We're going to start taking these out. Terroir Wine Pub, generous sponsor, provides us with our wine and a lot of emotional support as well. We really appreciate that.
I think you should do a fried chicken pop-up at Terroir.
And we might have to do a fried chicken pop-up at Terroir when the pandemic ends. A celebratory. So we're just letting everything drip off just a little bit, and then as you see, we're just putting it on the wire rack. These are going to be so good. You're going to be incredibly shocked how good they are. They're very, very crispy. But we're going to turn the heat down just a little. Also, there's a few of these Crispies that have kind of stuck to the bottom. So just kind of remove them. Let them free float. Give them their freedom. That's all you got to do. And maybe the next round we'll take those out of there. We'll see what we do. So once again, we're going to dredge. That's one, so everybody, you can hear that timer, so that means that we're about at the 5-minute mark. Actually, I think I set it for 4.5 on this. So we're going to turn off the timer, open this, allow the moisture that is drawn just to go back into that pan. That steam's going to be good for the chicken. So you can see these have gotten, they're a little white on the top, but we're going to turn one over here in just a second. So you can see it's a golden brown color on the bottom side. So I'm going to go through each of these, turn them over. Oh, that one's got a nice color. Look at that. That one's a little dark. I'm going to move that to the outside. I'm going to move this one that's a little lighter, more towards the center. Give them all a little shake. And I would imagine these are going to all need about another 5 minutes, and then we'll crisp everything back up again. So we'll see. But put everything to the side here. I think our temperature's about right. It's not absorbing oil, everything's frying. Put the lid back on. I'm gonna set my timer again. I'm gonna do it for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. There we go, we'll see you in a moment.
1:30 each way. I think we might need to just do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, done. Hi.
So,
Bring one of your kids to
as you can see, our chicken's getting very close, so we're just gonna try to get this to the right level.
Love you guys. Bye.
So just open this up, and it looks like it's nearly done. We're just gonna crisp it up just a little bit. Here is our finished fried chicken. Our camera here lost batteries. So we're in a learning curve here, so we're doing our best. I'm going to turn these over, just crisp up the other side real quick. They're looking good. These are once again those big thighs. A little hard to work with, but rewarding. Very rewarding. You won't be disappointed, I can tell you that.